Hi, my name is Carrie Zinkovich. I am a human resources generalist with Insomniac Games here in our North Carolina studio. For those of you who don't already know, Moonlighting with Insomniac is where we take your questions about Insomniac's HR and recruiting practices, and maybe some about our culture, and we answer them for you. This week, we're going to be answering a multi-part question from Dante Hawkins, so we'll take each one of his questions and we'll answer them individually. Dante's first question is, how long does it take for a candidate to be considered for a role? Well, that's a great question, and the answer is usually 3 business days. We ask that our department heads respond to all applications within 72 hours, and then if you're a good fit for the role, you should expect to hear back within about a week. Dante's second question revolves around applications. He wants to know if HR professionals consider that it takes a lot of time for somebody to fill out an application. And the answer is yes. We understand that filling out applications is a time-consuming process. And hopefully some features in our system allow you to do that more quickly. One of those features is the fact that you can upload a resume, either a PDF or a Word doc. We also do what's called resume parsing in our system. Resume parsing is when we take certain information from your resume, maybe a name or an address, and it gets pre-populated into your application field. So as you apply and you go through our application, you'll notice some things are pre-populated already. You'll also notice that we force you to create an account whenever you apply online. Creating an account means that every time you log in, we're going to recognize your application. That way, every time you apply for a new job, part of your application is already pre-populated. All you need to do is log back in, update your resume, and update any new experience you might have gained since the last time you applied. We're also working on some new application features, such as being able to apply through your mobile device. The third question Dante asks is, are the roles at Insomniac Games full-time or are they project-based? Well, we hire both project-based and full-time roles, and you'll know which one you're applying to because it'll state in the job description whether it's a full-time role or a project-based role. Dante's fourth question revolves around Insomniac Games' interview process. He wants to know how extensive our interviews are. I feel like our interviews are pretty standard for the game industry, and we have multiple processes for each different role. So not everybody's experience is going to be the same. For example, we do make you take tests with some of our roles, like our programming roles. If you happen to be applying to one of the roles that requires a test, we'll send that test to you and you'll get it back to us in a allotted time frame. Once you pass that test, you'll be scheduled to speak to a hiring manager via phone screen, and then maybe you'll move on to a Skype interview or an on-site interview. Should you be applying to a role that does not require a test, you would simply be scheduled for a phone interview and then an on-site interview afterwards. Our on-site interviews take place either at our headquarters in Burbank, California, or here in our Durham, North Carolina studio. It just depends on where your role is. We'd obviously work with your schedule to fly you out, and Insomniac would cover the expense of that travel. Dante's last question revolves around if we're going to make merchandise for our Oculus or our PS4 games. Well, Dante, that's a great question, but it's not really HR or recruiting related, so you could go to Twitter at Insomniac Games, or you can ask us on our Facebook page, and our community team will make sure to answer your question. Thank you, Dante, for submitting your question. If you would like to submit your own question, you can do so in the comments below or on Twitter at Insomniac HR. And there you have it. That's all for this episode of Moonlighting with Insomniac. If you'd like to watch previous episodes, you can catch them here. And if you'd like to watch future episodes of Moonlighting with Insomniac, you can subscribe here.